A Textile and Non-Woven Fabric Website Guide at Dmoz-Odp. Chapter 1. Textile Websites 1. Textile job websites at dmoz-odp.org/business/textiles_and_non-woven/employment. apparelzarch.com/employment.htm, apparel search employment directory for clothing and textile industry. fordsearch.com, Ford and Associates, USA. Godshall.com, Godshall and Godshall, Inc., USA. mrmayberry.com, The Mayberry Group, USA. Permansor.com.au, Permansor Party, Ltd., Australia. Proforce.ca, Proforce Personnel, Inc., Canada. RaskinExecSearch.com, Raskin Executive Search, USA. SCOTT-THALER.com, Scott Thaler Associates, Inc., USA. TextileJobs.com, Precision Placements, Inc., USA. TextileJobs.in, Textile Jobs, online application forms for technicians, skilled workers, and consultants in the Indian yarn spinning, weaving, textile processing and garment manufacturing industries. Geotechnical websites. Subcategories: fabrication and installation, geosynthetics equipment, nonwovens, technical textiles, wholesale and distribution, foundations, slope stability, soil erosion, soil stabilization, associations, consultants, education, events, materials, publications, research, resources, software. abg-geosynthetics.com, ABG Geosynthetics, UK. abgltd.com, ABG, Ltd, UK. acindustries.com, AC Industries, Inc., USA. agruamerica.com, Agru America, Inc., USA. alyaf.com, Alyaf Industrial Co., Ltd., Saudi Arabia. americanexcelsior.com, American Excelsior Co., USA. asahi-kai.co.jp/agt/gon-ku/n, Asahi KCI Geotechnologies Co., Ltd., Japan. Attarfil.com, Attarfile SL, Spain. Barbieflex.it, Barbieflex SRL, Italy. Bentarp.com, Bentarp and Liner, Inc., USA. Carthagemills.com, Carthage Mills, USA. ClimaxIndia.com, Climax Synthetic Private, Ltd., India. ColetaEnche.com, Colet Inc., UK. Conwedfibers.com, Conwed Fibers, USA. CooleyGroup.com, Cooley Group, Inc., USA. DOERKEN-HOLDING.com, Ewald Dorkin AG, Germany. EDILFloor.com, Edile Floor Spa, Italy. Elcoroc.com, Elco Solutions Party, Ltd., Australia. Emasquiera.com, Emasquiera Industries BHD, Malaysia. Engpol.com, Ingepol, Day, Brazil. ErosionBlankets.com, East Coast Erosion Blankets, USA. ErosionControlBlanket.com, Erosion Control Blanket Co., Canada. ErosionTechHUSA.com, Erosion Tech, LLC, USA. Faucetsliners.co.uk, Faucet Liners, UK. Flag.it, Flag Group, Italy. Garwareropes.com, Garware Wall Ropes, Ltd., India. Geoace.com, Ace Geosynthetics Enterprise Co., Ltd., Taiwan. Geochamink.com, GeoChem, Inc., USA. Geofabrics.com, GEO Fabrics, Ltd., UK. Geoproducts.org, Geoproducts, LLC, USA. GeoZNThisindia.com, High Specialty Fabrics Private, Ltd, India. GeoZscorp.com, Geotech Systems Corp., USA. Geotextile.com, BP Imaco Group, USA. Geotextiles.com.tw, Jin Timing Plastics Enterprise Corp., Taiwan. Geotextilesmanufacturer.com, Virendra Textiles, India. GeotipPtex.hu, Geotiptex Industrial and Commercial, Ltd, Hungary. Greenfix.com, Greenfix America, USA. Shaocheng.com.tw, Shaocheng Textile Co., Ltd, Taiwan. Huesker.com, Huesker Synthetic GmbH, Germany. Huikwang.com, Huikwang Corp., Taiwan. Intermazgroup.com, Intermaz Group, Spain. jbcnaturals.com, JBC International, India. jinda.com.cn, Jinda Geosynthetics Co., Ltd, China. johnsindia.com, Johns Group, India. ktech.co.za, Katek Engineered Fabrics, South Africa. lisocoirtex.com, Lisocoirtex, India. Lowtrack.com, Don and Low, Ltd, UK. maccaferri-usa.com, Mackay Farragabians, Inc., USA. maccaferry.co.za, Mackay Ferry SA, South Africa. nagreen.com, North American Green, Inc., USA. Nowie.com, Nowie Group, Germany. neoplastic.com.br, Neoplastic Plastic Packing, Ltd, Brazil. newgrids.com, Newgrids, Ltd, China. noram9group.com, Noramix Group, Sri Lanka. oekon-vegetationstechnik.de, Ocon Vegetationstechnik GmbH, Germany. Pavitex.com, Veganopavitex Spa, Italy. pil.fr, pil. Plasticakritis.com, Plasticacritis SA, Greece. poly-flex.com, Polyflex, Inc., USA. Polyfelt.com, Polyfelt GmbH, Austria. PrestoGeo.com, Presto Products Co., USA. PrettyLion.com, Pretty Lion Light Industrial Products Co., Ltd, China. ProfileProducts.com, Profile Products, LLC, USA. PRS-med.com, PRS Mediterranean, Ltd, Group of companies, active in research, development and manufacturing of advanced geotechnology and cellular confinement systems for load support, slope and channel protection, earth retention systems, reservoirs and landfills. Ravago.com, Ravago Group, multinational group of companies, active in the distribution, compounding and recycling of plastic and elastomeric raw materials. RavenInd.com, Raven Industries, USA. Renolit.com, Renolit AG, Germany. RobustGabion.com, Thai Wiring System Co., Ltd, Thailand. SDHXJT.com, Hongxiang Group, China. SGS-GEOTECHNIK.AT, SGS Geotechnik GmbH, Austria. SIGEOSolutions.com, SIGEO Solutions, USA. Scaps.com, Scaps Industries, USA. Solmax.com, Solmax International, Canada. Strawblanket.com, Enviroscape ECM, Ltd, USA. Syntene.com, Syntene Technical Fabrics, Inc., USA. teokogyo.co.jp/e_index.html, Teokogyo Corp., Japan. Tamodern.com, Taean Modern Plastic Co., Ltd, China. tcmirafi.com, TC Marafi, Spain. techfabindia.com, Techfab India, India. 10x.net, 10x Spa, Italy. TerraM.com, TerramCO, UK. ThraceLinq.com, ThraceLinq, Inc., USA. Thalica.com, Thalica epub, Norway. Tildenet.co.uk, Tildenet, Ltd, UK. Typargeo.com, DuPont de Nemours Co. Europe, polypropylene spun bond fabrics for geotechnical applications. UNSA-TR.com, UNSA Emballage as, Turkey. VP-GEOS.com, Vantage Partners, LLC, USA. Watersaver.com, Water Saver Company, Inc., USA. WebTechGeos.com, WebTech, Inc., USA. Nonwoven's websites. Subcategories: air and wet laid, artificial leather, composite fabrics and structures, diversified technologies, geotextiles, needle punch and pressed felts, spun bond, spun lace and melt blown, stitch bond, thermobonded, waddings and battings, coating and laminating, contractors, converters, resins and chemicals, associaciones, consulting, education and training, import and export, machinery and equipment, marketplaces, news and media, resources, software, test facilities, wholesale and distribution, wipers and rags, flocking.org, AFA. American Flock Association, USA. Trade Association for the North American Flock Industry and related suppliers and affiliated companies. ANA.gr.jp, ANA. AsiaNonwovens.org, ANFA. CNITA.org.cn, NITA. Edana.org, Edana, European Disposables and Nonwovens Association, Belgium. Feltmakers.com, IFA. Flock.de, Flock Industry Association, Germany. Inda.org, Inda. Nonwoven.or.kr, KNIC. ttna.com.au, TTNA. Textiles websites. Subcategories: bedding and furnishings, carpets, fabrics, flags and banners, wipers and rags, accessories, coating and laminating, consulting, contractors, converters, design studios, machinery and equipment, process optimization, resins and chemicals, swatches, associaciones, directories, import and export, marketing, marketplaces, news and media, resources, software, test facilities, wholesale and distribution, business textiles and nonwovens wholesale and distribution websites. Subcategories: clothing, geotechnical, nonwovens, textiles, fibers, industrial yarns and sewing threads, leathers, resins and chemicals. Chapter 2. Textile websites 2. Dyestuffs and chemicals websites. Subcategories: adhesives, chemicals, dyestuffs and inks, import and export, wholesale and distribution, associaciones, consultants, directories, news and media, resources, artigroup.com, Arti Group, India. admtronics.com, admtronics, Inc., USA. alphakimia.com, Alpha Kimia as, Turkey. andesia.com, Andesia Group, Colombia. argon.com.tr, Argon Kimia as, Turkey. argus.net.cn, Argus Co., Ltd., China. Azutex.com, Asutex, Spain. attl.com, Applied Textile Technologies, Ltd., USA. avocet-dyes.co.uk, Avocet Dyes and Chemicals Co., Ltd., UK. BASF.com, BASF, Germany. BayerMaterialScience.com, Bayer Material Science AG, Germany. BestDye.com, Colorado Wholesale Dye Corp., USA. Bezema.com, Bezema AG, Switzerland. Bonditex.com, Bonditex SA, Spain. BorealisGroup.com, Borealis AG, multinational group of companies, active in the manufacture and supply of polyolefin plastics for packaging, films, cordage, fibers, pipes, cable and wire and molded parts. Chemotex.com, Chemotex NV, Belgium. Chromatexchemicals.com, Chromatex Chemicals, Pakistan. ChuanPlus.com, Chuan Plus Industries SDNBHD, Malaysia. ColourBandIndia.com, Colorband Dyestuff Private, Ltd., India. ColorCenter.es, Color Center SA, Spain. CrayValley.com, Cray Valley, France. CreativeChemistry.com, Emerging Technologies, Inc., USA. Scitech.com, Scitech Industries, Inc., USA. Dyecolor.co.jp, Danichisica Color and Chemicals MFG. Dengekimaya.com, Dengekimaya and Textile, Ltd., Turkey. DOW.com, Dow Chemical Co., USA. DYNASTY-CHEM.com, Dynasty Chemicals Co., Ltd., China. DYStar.com, Destar Textilfarben GmbH, Germany. EasternColor.net, Eastern Color and Chemical Co., USA. EKSoy.com, Eksoy Chemical Industries, Ltd., Turkey. EOCgroup.com, EOC Group, Belgium. Exxon.com, ExxonMobil Corp., USA. Fibrochem.com, Fibrochem, LLC, USA. Finotex.com, Finotex Chemical Industries, India. GECHUISA.es, General Quimica SA, Spain. Goodrich.com, BF Goodrich, USA. Greenchem.com.tw, Greenchem International Co., Ltd., Taiwan. ICAPSIRA.com, ICAPSIRA Chemicals and Polymers SPA, Italy. Impocolor.de, Impocolor Chemiegesellschaft mbH, Germany. Indochem.co.in, Indochem, Ltd., India. J-TECK3.it, JTech3 SRL, Italy. Jagson.com, Jagson Colorchem, Ltd., India. Japt.co.kr, Junggang Polytech, Korea. JESons.net, Jesons Industries, Ltd., India. Camsons.com, Camsons Chemicals Private, Ltd., India. Chemcolor.it, Chemcolor Spa, Italy. Colorjetchemicals.com, Colorhood Chemicals Private, Ltd., India. Lombardi.com, Lombardi Spa, Italy. Leatherchem.com, Haryana Leather Chemicals, Ltd., India. Lubrizol.com/coatings, Lubrizol Corp., USA. m-kagaku.co.jp, Mitsubishi Chemical Corp., Japan. mcpolymers.com, Mallard Creek Polymers, Inc., USA. Momentive.com, Momentive, USA. Nalco.com, Nalco Chemical Co., USA. Nationalstarch.com, National Starch and Chemical Co., USA. NavyUGChemicals.com, Naviag Chemicals Group, India. Novus.it, Novus SRL, Italy. Novotex.it, Novotex Spa, Italy. Organickimaya.com, Organic Chimaya, Turkey. Parachem.com, Parachem Corp., USA. Physit.com, Visit Group, Thailand. PremierIndia.com, Premier Group, India. ProfessionalDyeDs.com, Professional Dye, USA. Reichhold.com, Reichhold Chemicals, Inc., USA. Cerex.com, Seraph Group, India. SCLGroup.com, SCL Group, UK. ScottBader.com, Scott Bader Co., Ltd., UK. Shell.us, Shell US, Inc., USA. shokubai.co.jp, Nippon Shokubai Co., Ltd., Japan. Stahl.com, Stahl International BV, the Netherlands. Stockhausen.com, Stockhausen GmbH, Germany. Sumitomo.zika.co.jp, Sumitomo Sika Chemicals Co., Ltd., Japan. Summitex.com.tw, Summitex Enterprise Co., Ltd., Taiwan. Superabsorber.com, Evonik Industries AG, Germany. Synalloy.com, Synalloy Corp., USA. Synthesia.eu, Synthesia, Czech Republic. Synthomer.com, Synthomer GmbH, Germany. TechMeRPM.com, TechMeRPM, USA. TexBiosciences.com, TexBiosciences Private, Ltd., India. TheChemco.com, The Chemical Company, USA. TRCC.com, Textile Rubber and Chemical Co., USA. Unitsgroup.com, Units Group, Spain. Vinamolpolymers.com, Vinamol Polymers, USA. Vicen.net, Vicen Industries, Ltd., India. VITA-LIQUID.com, Vita Liquid Polymers, Ltd., UK. WhitfordWW.com, Whitford Corp., USA. Witton.co.za, Witten Chemicals Party, Ltd., South Africa. YORKSHIRE-GROUP.com, Yorkshire Group, China. Feather and Down websites. Subcategories. Quilts and pillows. Associations. Consultants. Articles and studies. Anderson.com.tw, Anderson Enterprises, Ltd., Taiwan. Dart.rze.pl, Dart SP. DOWN-FEATHER.eu, European Down and Feather, Ltd., Germany. FeatherInd.com, Feather Industries, Ltd., Canada. Hoplion.com.tw, Hoplion Works Corp., Taiwan. Interplume.fr, Interplume SA, France. LECH-POL.pl, Lech Paul, Poland. Petercole.com, Peter Cole KG, Germany. RichardBear.de, Richard Bear & Co., GmbH, Germany. UFANDD.com, United Feather and Down, Inc., USA. Fibers websites. Subcategories. Man-made. Natural. Processors. Recycling. Associaciones. Consultants. Fiber extrusion. Marketplaces. News and media. Resources. Software. Test facilities. Testing equipment. Wholesale and distribution. AllAboutCotton.com, All About Cotton, information resource related to cotton fiber and its properties and qualities for use in fabrics for garments and furnishings. ams.usda.gov/cotton/mncs/index.htm, AMS Cotton Market News, latest market and quality reports. ams.usda.gov/cotton, the Cotton Program, Universal Classification Standards for Cotton, developed and distributed by the United States Department for Agriculture. CertifiedCotton.com, Certified Cotton Gin Program, Cotton Certification Program and seal that stipulates best practices procedures for cotton ginning companies. CHANVRE-info.ch, Hemp Info, information resource about hemp for medical, agricultural, and industrial applications. cncotton.com, CN Cotton, information resource for Chinese cotton and cotton textiles. Koyurkerala.com, Koyur Kerala, portal and company directory for the Koyur industry in Kerala, India. Kotlook.com, Cotton Outlook, UK. Cotton-International.com, Cotton International, information portal for global cotton growers, merchants, and traders in the cotton yarn spinning and textile manufacturing industry. Cotton.org/pub/cotton counts/field to fabric, cotton, from field to fabric, information resource about the cultivation, production, and processing of cotton fiber and the applications and technologies for cotton utilized in the textile industry. Cotton.org/econ, Econ Central, USA. CottonChina.org, Cotton China, information resource on Chinese-grown cotton, the cotton textile industry and related businesses. CottonInc.com, Cotton Inc., USA. CottonsJourney.com, Cotton's Journey, cotton education site for classroom teachers providing curriculum, literature resources, links to cotton and educational organizations promoting the importance of this crop. CTSDI.cn, China Cotton Textile Information Center, portal and information resource for the Chinese cotton growing, processing and trading industry. FAO.org/doc/006/Y5143E/Y5143E1G.htm, jute, canaf, and allied fibers, introduction to the cultivation, processing, consumption and trade in jute, canaf, and related fibers in East Asia and Latin America. GlobalHemp.com, Global Hemp, information resource for hemp growers, processors, and users. HempAdvocates.org, Hemp Advocates, information resource and global network for the promotion of the use of industrial hemp. hempworld.com/hemp-cyberfarm_com/index.html, hemp-cyberfarm, USA. hort.purdue.edu/newcrop, from Purdue University. idmf.org/publications/free/datai12.pdf, guidelines for purchasing raw cotton, the International Textile Manufacturers Federation Spinners Committee's guidelines for buyers and sellers of raw cotton. Jute.com, the Golden Fiber, portal for the Indian jute fiber processing industries. Lamapedia.com, Lamapedia, information resource on the properties, characteristics, evaluation, grading and testing and the production of llama and alpaca wool fibers. OSHA.gov/sltc/cottondust/index.html, cotton dust, information resource on present standards and the hazards and proposed solutions in cotton fiber handling and processing. scottishfibers.co.uk/a-catalog/education.html, fiber producing animals, short descriptions of fiber producing animals other than sheep, including information on animal farming and fiber harvesting. sustainable-future-fibers/index.html, fiber futures, dedicated advocacy and consulting group within sustainable-future.org, focused on catalyzing the use of agricultural residues and fibers from non-wood plants for building materials, pulp and paper, textiles and other industries through engineering assessments, market research, business plan refinement, educational forums, and financing expertise. SustainableCotton.org, the organic cotton site, USA. swicofil.com/products.html, natural and synthetic fibers, extensive information about the cultivation of natural fibers, the manufacture of man-made fibers and their history, properties, and applications. Wool.com.uy, Wools of Uruguay, information resource of the Uruguayan Wool Secretariat. Wool.net.au, Woolnet, Australia. Woolsearch.com.au, Wool Search, internet-based service providing wool classers, shearers, and wool handlers with a tool to promote their services to potential clients, as well as access to up-to-date and relevant wool industry information. Woolsandz.com, Wools of New Zealand, from the New Zealand Wool Board. Woolwise.com, Woolwise, information resource for researchers, consultants, students, and others related to, or interested in wool and the wool industry. Industrial Yarns and Sewing Threads websites at dmoz-and/nonwovens/business/textiles_and_non-wovens/industrial_yarns_and_sewing_threads. Subcategories: Carpet yarns, chenille, elastic yarns and filaments, fancy yarns, filaments, grage yarns, metallized, mixed blends, natural, sewing and embroidery threads, specialty yarns, synthetic, import and export, machinery and equipment, processors, wholesale and distribution, associaciones, marketplaces, news and media, resources, leather and fur websites. Subcategories: artificial leather, diversified detanning techniques, furs and pelts, hides and skins, natural tanned, synthetic tanned, converters, import and export, resins and chemicals, wholesale and distribution, associaciones, consultants, directories, machinery and equipment, marketplaces, news and media, resources, testing and certification, trade shows, aaqtic.org.ar, Octic, Argentine Leather Industry Chemists and Technicians Association, Argentina, aicc.it, AICC, anpic.com, ANPIC, aqeic.org, AQIC, britishfur.co.uk, British Fur Trade Association, UK, codance.com, Cotance, detk.org.tr, Detec, Deutscher Pelsverband.de, Deutscher Pelsverband e.V., Germany, fur.ca, Fur Institute of Canada, national non-profit organization for fur trade, animal welfare, and fur-bearer conservation issues, responsible for the implementation of the Agreement on International Humane Trapping Standards in Canada. fur.org, FICA. Furcommission.com, Fur Commission USA, non-profit trade association representing U.S. mink farmers and cooperatives, dedicated to ensure superior standards of animal husbandry and consumer education. Furcouncil.com, Fur Council of Canada, national, non-profit federation representing producers, auction houses, processors, designers, craftspeople, and retailers involved in the Canadian fur industry. Furfair.gr, Castorian Fur Association, Greece. leather-spain.com, Spanish Council of Tanners, umbrella organization for Spanish leather tanners and traders associations. Leatherassociation.com, Hong Kong Hide and Leather Traders Association, trade organization for merchants and distributors of hides and finished leathers. Leatherindia.org, CLE. Leatherusa.com, LEA. Letterfabrikanten.nl, FNL. NOPSA.com, NOPSA. RealSheepskin.org.uk, The Real Sheepskin Association, UK. SLTC.org, SLTC. Suzikogevnikovi.ru, The Union of Russian Tanners, non-profit organization of research and educational institutes and manufacturers and suppliers of leathers and chemicals in Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. Titaniing.org, Thai Tanning Industry Association, Thailand. ukleather.org, UK Leather Federation, trade organisation for UK companies involved in the hides and skins and leather tanning and processing industry. ushsla.org, ushsla. vdl-web.de, vdl. weirfur.com, IFTF. Chapter 3. Textile Websites 3. Textile and Non-Woven Association Websites. Subcategories: Clothing, Geotechnical, Nonwovens. Textiles. Feathers and down. Fibers. Industrial yarns and sewing threads. Leathers. Resins and chemicals. Industrial standards. Machinery and equipment. Printing. Unite. clubs.ncsu.edu/lats, Consorzione Quality Mattresses Manufacturers Consortium, Italy. sactwu.org.za, sactwu. tcfua.org.au, Textile, Clothing and Footwear Union of Australia, official site of the Australian Union for Employees in the Textile, Apparel and Footwear Industries. Business, Textiles and Nonwovens Consulting websites. AdherentLabs.com, Adherent Laboratories, Inc., USA. AGOSTINO_PARISI.tripod.com, Agostino Parisi, consultant to the textile and nonwovens industries, specialized in artificial leather manufacture. Agrica.it, Agrica SRL, Italy. AMPA-ASSOCIATES.com, AMPA Associates, Ltd., UK. BCH.in, Business Coordination House, India. berliner-ultrasonics.org/u-s.html, Berliner Ultrasonics, USA. CEL-INTERNATIONAL.com, Cell International, Ltd., UK. Colortheory.net, Color Theory Toronto, Canada. DAI.com, Development Alternatives, Inc., USA. Euroleathergroup.com, Euroleather Group, Spain. Fiberconsult.com, International Fiber Technologies Group, USA. Fibristructures.com, Engineered Fiber Structures, Ltd., UK. FILTERMEDIA-CONSULTING.com, Filter Media Consulting, Inc., USA. Floorinspections.com, Ferber Carpet Service, Inc., USA. Gherzi.com, Gertzi AG, Switzerland. Leatherconsultant.co.uk, Avery Leather Consulting, Ltd., UK. Leatherwise.co.uk, Leatherwise, Ltd., UK. Lenzing-technik.com, Lenzing-Technik GmbH, Austria. MC2link.com, MC2 Market and Competitive Convergence, USA. Merinocompany.com, The Merino Company, Australia. MikeRedwood.com, Mike Redwood, UK. PCIFibers.com, PCI Fibers Group, UK. POLAND-IMPORTERS.com, Independent Traders and Consultants, Market Consultants for the Polish apparel, textile, footwear and leather goods industry. POLYESTER-TECHNOLOGY.com, Dr. Thiele Polyester Technology, Germany. Q-HQ.co.uk, Quality Headquarters, Ltd., UK. Republicasassociates.com, Republic Associates, USA. SensorySpectrum.com, Sensory Spectrum, Inc., USA. Statewideinspection.com, Statewide Inspection Service, USA. tchservices.com.pl, TCH Services, Poland. Technoen.co.uk, Tchnon Orbichem, Ltd., UK. WernerInternational.com, Werner International, Inc., USA. Maintains a subscription internet database for global statistics and pricing information, duty rates, and product data. Textiles and nonwovens directory websites. Subcategories: carpets, leathers, machinery and equipment, technical. ArmenianTextile.com, Armenian apparel and textile directory, company directory of Armenian manufacturers and contractors of textile fabrics and apparel. CNTXnet.com, China Textile Business Network, portal of the Chinese textile and related industries. Cosmos.com.mx/tex.hdm, Cosmos Online, business directory for the Mexican textile industry. designdirectory.co.uk/tex.hdm, the directory of textile design consultants, a global directory of textile design consultants. digitaltextile.com, digital textile, directory for consultants, designers, manufacturers, and fashion houses, active in or related to the digital textile printing industry. espacetextile.com, eSpace Textile, searchable company directory of French textile and fashion manufacturers. expo21xx.com/textile21xx/default.hdm, textile21xx, online exhibition and trade fair for the apparel, textile, leather and nonwovens industries. fashion-textile-webexpo.com, Fashion Textile Web Expo, a collection of website directories related to the global textile and apparel industries. glassindustry.info, Glass Industry Info, directory of manufacturers and dealers of production and process machinery and chemicals, glass fibers, glass and glass products and service providing companies in the glass industry. HomeTextilesFromSpain.com, Home Textiles from Spain, website of the Spanish National Committee for the Promotion of Home Textiles Abroad, aiming to be a clearinghouse for joint promotional strategies. LOOK4TEXTILE.com, Look for Textile, searchable company directory for the textile and textile machinery industry. Miltonia.com, Miltonia Textile Pages, database and information resource for the global textile industry. Resources.com/textile.hdm, textile and fabric resources, company directory of manufacturers of textile fabrics and products in the interior design industry. Sourcingmall.com, Sourcing Mall, from the Textile and Clothing Technology Corp. Textil.com.tr, Textile Internet, directory of Turkish companies in the apparel, textile, and nonwovens industries. TEinline.com, Textile Exchange, company directory for manufacturers, exporters, and suppliers of machinery, chemicals, products and services in the textile and nonwovens industries. Textile-technique.com, Club Textile Integral, company directory of fashion and technical textiles manufacturers in the French Champagne-Ardenne region. TextileBlueBook.net, Davison's Textile Blue Book, annual directory of textile mills, dyers, finishers, converters, and jobbers in the United States, Canada, Mexico and Central America, including suppliers of textile machinery, chemicals, supplies, and services. TextileMagic.com, Textile Magic, information platform and company directory of the Indian yarn and textile industry. TextilesFromSpain.org, TextilesFromSpain.org, searchable company and product directory of manufacturers of yarns, textiles, fabrics and apparel. TextilesOurce.com, textile source, database, and resource for the global textile and related industries. TextileExpert.com, Textile Expert, a directory of websites related to the textile and apparel industries. Texweb.co.za, Texweb, company directory and search engine targeted at South African manufacturers and suppliers of textile and leather products and fashion, footwear, bedding, interior decoration, and furniture and educational institutes. Woodlandyarn.co.uk, wool and yarn, company directory of manufacturers, processors, wholesale suppliers, and retailers of wool fiber, yarns, fabrics and accessories in the United Kingdom. Business textiles and nonwovens education and training websites. Subcategories: Africa, Asia, Europe, Middle East, North America, Oceania. Clothing. art.unt.edu, University of North Texas, USA. circ.giatech.edu, Georgia Institute of Technology, USA. ConvertingSchool.com, Converting School, USA. Educational institute founded by the Association of Industrial Metallizers, Coaters, and Laminators, ACL, providing courses in machine and converting technologies and materials. gbrownc.on.ca/marketing/ftcl/fashion/f102.aspx, George Brown, Toronto City College, Canada. limcollege.edu, lim. nonwoventools.com, Nonwoven Tools, LLC, educational resource for the nonwovens industry, using video and audio presentations to provide training courses on fibers, carding and needle punching to nonwoven production workers. philadelphia.edu/schools/tmt/index.htm, Philadelphia University, USA. ptfe.gatech.edu, Georgia Institute of Technology, USA. tam.missouri.edu, University of Missouri, USA. texasintlcottonschool.com, Texas International Cotton School, USA. textiles.ucdavis.edu, University of California Davis, USA. thejacquardcenter.com, the Jacquard Center Home, USA. twu.edu/fashion, Texas Woman's University, USA. tx.ncsu.edu, North Carolina State University, USA. web.uri.edu/tmd, University of Rhode Island, USA. Import and export websites. Subcategories: clothing, nonwovens, textiles, feathers and down, fibers, industrial yarns and sewing threads, leathers, resins and chemicals. Giannapadhyarn.net, A. Ganapatha Chettiar, India. Amaropa.ch, Ameripa AG, Switzerland. bhtengda.com, Tengda Trading Co., Ltd., China. blfriedman.com, BL. Dayut.com, Dayut, Spain. evergreen-global.com, Evergreen Global Pte. Ltd., Singapore. Fiberindustry.net, Viquay Import and Export Co., Ltd., China. Hatchvari.com, Hatchvari Corp., Pakistan. Halltexyarn.com, Halltex Yarn, Inc., import and export of a wide variety of natural, synthetic and blended yarns for knitting and weaving applications. Impexlimited.com, Impex, Ltd., Turkey. Jinwoon.com, Jinwoo Enterprise, Korea. Krishtex.com, Krishtex, India. LahodieOverseas.com, Lahodi Overseas, Ltd., India. Landmarkinter.com, Landmark International, India. Mayerinternational.com, Mayer International, India. Niltex.com, Nilgun International Trading Co., Ltd., Turkey. rjkimpex.com, RJK Impex, India. sitcoindia.com, Sai International Trading Co., India. Softtextile.biz, v. Startwithyarns.com, Titan Textile International Incorporated, Canada. SwedishYarn.com, Swedish Yarn, Inc., USA. TextileNetwork.com, Textile Network Concepts, Inc., USA. TradesS.biz, Trades, India. UMS.com, United Raw Material Solutions, Inc., Export and Sourcing Agency, active in textiles, petrochemicals, plastics, and electronics. ZakiTrading.8m.com, Zaki Trading, Ltd., China. Machinery and equipment websites at dmoz-odp.org/business/textiles_and_nonwoven/machinery_and_equipment. Auxiliary S. Baling systems. Calendars. Coding and laminating. Complete plants. Converting machinery. Factory automation. Fiber extrusion. Fiber preparation. Flock systems. Geotechnical. Laboratory equipment. leather. Materials handling. Nonwovens. Parts and supplies. Process monitoring and control. Textiles. Thermal processing machinery. Ultrasonic equipment. Web and roll handling. Maintenance and repair. Pre-owned machinery. Wholesale and distribution. Associaciones. Directories. Marketplaces. Resources. BRUECKNER-TEXTIL.de, Bruckner Plant Technologies GmbH, Germany. Cumq.com.cn, Shandong Complete Equipment Co., Ltd., China. FOMAR.com, FOMAR, USA. QualityText.com, Quality Textile Machinery, India. links-srl.it, Links SRL, Italy. lpbatson.com, Batson Group, USA. Manufacturers and suppliers of machinery, equipment, accessories, and technical services for a wide range of industrial applications. Magnabosco.com, Magnabosco SRL, Italy. menzel-maschinenbau.de, Menzel Maschinenbau GmbH, Germany. mitter-mmb.com, Mitter GmbH, Germany. Oerlikon.com, OC Oerlikon AG, Switzerland. pmf-fortuna.de, PMF Fortuna Group, Germany. Rousselet.fr, Rousselet-Robitel, France. schmitt-maschinen.com, LR. sellers-uk.com, Sellers Engineers, Ltd., UK. Tacomi.com, Taleras Tacom SA, Spain. Unitech-Group.it, Unitech Textile Machinery SPA, Italy. Marketing and advertising websites. Barbara P. Hurd Associates.co.uk, Barbara Shepherd Associates, UK. ccpatex.com/ngcomicpatex. Cherryfieldsesby.com, Cherryfield Sesbi, Turkey. Colorportfolio.com, Color Portfolio, full-service color, trend, and communications marketing for fiber, yarn, textile, apparel and retail industries. Consorzio Tendagio.it, Italian Curtaining Promotion Consortium, group of Italian curtain design and manufacturing companies, involved in market and trade promotion. Hepsindia.com, HEPC. IndianCarpets.com, Carpet Export Promotion Council of India, Department of the Indian Ministry of Textiles, responsible for the export promotion of hand-knotted carpets and other floor coverings. Interior Design Textile.it, the Textile Interior Design Project, Italy. etochu.co.jp, Etochu Corp., Japan. Clartext.de, Clar's Textile Archive, commercial resource for the global textile and apparel industry. MohairUSA.com, Mohair Council of America, USA. Nedgraphics.com, Nedgraphics, the Netherlands. PCCA.com, PCCA. Picario.com, Picario BV, the Netherlands. QuixoteGroup.com, Quixote Group, USA. TeamTextileCanada.com, Team Textile Canada, joint internet project of industry and government, showcasing the capabilities of the Canadian textile and non-wovens industries. TextilesCR.com, CATCO. wto.org/english/trade-op_e/texti_e/texti_e.htm, Textiles Monitoring Body, World Trade Organization's Monitoring Council for the International Trade in Textile Goods. Chapter 4. Textile Websites 4. Marketplaces/where to sell websites. Subcategories. Fabrics. Home fashions. Leathers. Machinery and equipment. Materials. AssistedLivingStore.com, Assisted Living Store, online marketplace for adult incontinence and hygiene disposables, gowns, pillowcases, blankets, bed and bathroom linens and care items for assisted living and nursing homes, military, hospitality and institutional markets. carpet-accessories.co.uk, Carpet Accessories UK, online marketplace for carpet underlays, stair nosings and edgings and solid brass and chrome plated carpet trims. CottonAfrica.com, Cotton Africa, internet marketplace for East and Southern Africa for cotton, lint and fiber, yarns and fabrics, chemicals and dyed, pharmaceuticals and industrial products. craft-fabrics.co.uk, Craft Fabrics UK, online marketplace for long and short pile dyed and printed fake fur fabrics. cvlinens.com, CV Linens, online marketplace for wholesale of chair covers, sashes, napkins and tablecloths for weddings, parties and events. Fabrics.com, Fabrics.com, internet trading site, dedicated to textiles and related products and industries. Magiconline.com, Magic Online, business-to-business e-commerce in textiles, fashion, and accessories. Pakistantex.com, Pakistantex, internet marketplace of the Pakistani textile, apparel, and leather industries. Rugrabbit.com, Rugrabbit, online marketplace for antique textiles, carpets and rugs and textile art. Tex365.com, Tex365, online trade platform for Chinese-made yarns and grage, dyed and printed fabrics. Texindex.com, China textile and apparel online, internet marketplace for textile raw materials, finished products, and services. Texoffer.com, Texoffer, business-to-business marketplace for fibers and yarns, woven and knitted fabrics, apparel, fashion accessories and footwear, machinery, chemicals and dyestuffs and ready-made apparel and textile products. Textile.fr, textiles from France, from the French Textile Manufacturers Association. Textilesintelligence.com, Textiles Intelligence, global information platform and marketplace for the textile and apparel products and materials industry. Textilestock.in, Textile Stock, online marketplace for fibers, yarns, and fabrics and ready-made carpets and rugs, garments and home textiles. Weddingmarts.co.uk, Wedding Marts, online marketplace for chair covers, organza sashes, tablecloth and skirtings, backdrops and drapes for weddings and events. Business textiles and non-wovens news and media websites. Subcategories: clothing, geotechnical, non-wovens, textiles, fibers, leathers, resins and chemicals, composites, filtration, furnishing, textile care. Adzalita.com, Ada. Billion.com, Billion Publishing, Inc., USA. ibibli.org/textile/jtexchem/index.htm, textile chemistry, internet version of a Russian scientific journal for theoretical and experimental chemistry of textile materials, natural and artificial leather and fur. Interweave.com, Interweave Press, LLC, USA. Mowbray.uk.com, Mowbray Communications Ltd, financial news, reports, and analysis for the global textile industries. PFFC-online.com, paper, film, and foil converter, online magazine for the paper, film, foil and web-based industries. Powells.com/books/materials-science/textiles, textile science books, extensive list of books about design, materials science, and manufacturing processes in the textile and non-wovens industries. ptj.com.pk, Pakistan Textile Journal, monthly published magazine for executives and professionals in the Pakistani textile, non-wovens, and embroidery industries. Spinningtextiles.com, Spinning Textiles, scientific journal for the global yarn spinning industry, dedicated to the publication of contributed articles and papers about developments in spinning research, technologies, processes and testing, analysis procedures, and commercial applications of yarns. TextileTechnic.com.tr, Textile and Technic Magazine, monthly journal for managers and professionals in the yarn spinning, textile and non-wovens industries, focused on technical and technology issues. TextLeader.com.cn, China Textile Leader, monthly publication on technology developments in the global textile industry, published by the China Textile Information Center. Textile.245.6.com/eng/epub/content.asp?EPU by ID =4 PG =1, at a journal, Journal for the Asian Textile, Apparel, and Non-Wovens Industries, focused on marketing and retail, machinery and technologies and chemicals and chemical auxiliaries. TextileMedia.com, Textile Media Services, monthly newsletter and annual magazine about textiles, non-wovens, apparel, chemicals, machinery and fibers for the emerging markets of Central and Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union and Southeast Asia. TextileExpert.com/Fachbücher, CD-ROM.html, professional literature, extensive list of technical books and CD-ROMs about textile and non-wovens materials, technologies, processes and products. Topics.com/RSS/business/textiles.xml, topics, textiles, news about the textile industry, collected from various sources on the web. trj.sagepub.com, Textile Research Journal, monthly journal, devoted to the dissemination of fundamental and applied scientific information in the physical, chemical and engineering sciences related to the textile, non-wovens, and allied industries. wilkens-verlag.de, u. woodheadpublishing.com/en/menulist.aspx ? Textile, Woodhouse Publishing, Ltd, UK. woodheadpublishing.com, Woodhead Publishing, Ltd, UK. woodheadpublishing.com/en/book.aspx ? book ID =1500, textile fiber spinning. Business textiles and non-wovens resource websites. Subcategories: geotechnical, non-wovens, textiles, composite materials, fibers, industrial yarns and sewing threads, leathers, machinery and equipment, management resources, resins and chemicals, articles and studies, dictionaries, history. 42explore.com/fibers.htm, fiber and fabric, education and information resource for children and students about natural and synthetic fibers and textile, non-wovens and printing technologies. bir.org, Bur. Bureau of International Recycling, Belgium. bttg.co.uk, bttg. die-verbindungs-spezialisten.de, dvs. ipfdd.de, ipfd. ita.rwth-aachen.de, ida. itc.ttu.edu, International Textile Center, USA. itcf-denkendorf.de, itcf. iw.lods.pl, Textile Research Institute, Poland. ntcresearch.org, National Textile Center, USA. samp.org, SAMP. satra.co.uk, Satra Technology Center, UK. sdfi.de, Saxon Textile Research Institute, Germany. Textilepedia.com, textile blog, Karen Miller's blog and encyclopedia presenting photos and entries about textile fibers, yarns and fabrics, dyeing, printing and finishing technologies, textile design and designers, machinery and applications. Textileworld.it, Textile World, search engine for manufacturers of fibers, yarns, grage and finished woven and knitted fabrics, apparel, bedding, trimmings, closeouts, transportation and textile machinery. tft.c0.au, Xero Textile and Fibre Technology, Australia. ttri.org.tw, ttri. tut.fi/kmt/n, Institute of Fibre Material Science, Finland. wtin.com, World Textile Information Network, information resource providing industry news and analysis about the yarn spinning, textile and non-wovens industries. Software websites at dmoz-business/textiles_and_non-wovens/software. Binarysoft.info, Binary Software Solutions, India. Caldera.com/product/textile pro, Caldera, Textile Pro, to ensure designs and colors are matched throughout production and help create patterns, variations, and repeats without error or waste. Cantel-cams.com, Cantel Apparel Systems, Canada. Floorcoveringsoft.com, Floor Covering Soft, USA. Gialanecha.com.np, Alternative Technology, Nepal. GetCalidus.com, Oakleaf Software, UK. GSDHQ.com, General Sewing Data, Ltd, UK. Navigram.com, Navigram BV, the Netherlands. Talmansolutions.com.au, Talman Solutions, Australia. teonline.com/knowledge-center/tools.html, calculators, collection of online calculators for the conversion of length, weight, pressure, volume, and temperature. thefibershop.com/calculator.html, textile calculator, unit-to-unit calculator for applications in the fiber, yarn, and textile industries. txupdate.de, update textware GmbH, Germany. Vaini.com, Vahini Software Private, Ltd, India. vis-craft.com, Viscraft, developers of three-dimensional visualization software for apparel design, home furnishings, textile design, and product visualization applications. Textile software websites at dmoz-odp.org/business/textiles_and_non-wovens/textiles/software. Subcategories: dyeing and printing, embroidery, weaving and knitting, management. Opso.com, Opso Group, UK. Audaces.com, Audaces, Brazil. Barcelos.co.uk, Barcelos, Ltd, UK. Bestcad.com, Capital Automation Co. Bradadrug.com, Bradadrug.com, USA. ColorMattersIntl.com, Color Matters International, Inc., USA. Cutplan.com, AMS, Inc., USA. Developers and suppliers of software for cut order planning, roll allocation, and materials utilization in the carpet and textile, plastics and rubber, sheet metal, and wood processing industries. Daisoft.com, Dagisoft, Inc., USA. Datatex.com, Datatex SRL, Italy. Datatex.de, Datatex Automation GmbH, Germany. Diosfalises.gr, Diasfalisis, Ltd, Greece. Ineos.com, Ineos Informatica SRL, advanced modular graphics software for designers, stylists, and colorists in the textile and clothing industries. Geodict.com, Geodict, virtual material design and property simulation software for non-wovens and fiber-reinforced composites for the geotechnical, automobile, non-wovens, filtration media and paper machine clothing manufacturers. Gerbertechnology.com, Gerber Technology, Inc., USA. Indit.com, Inedit Software SL, Spain. Infotex.es, Informatica Textile SL, Spain. InsideComm.com, Inside Communications BVBA, Belgium. CalsoFTE.com, Calpatera Software, Ltd, India. Copperman.com, Copperman Computer System GmbH, Germany. Lectare.com, Lectra, France. Nedgraphics.nl, Nedgraphics NV, the Netherlands. Octoberstudio.co.uk, October Studio, UK. Optitex.com, Optitex International, Israel. Padsystem.com, Pad System Technologies, Inc., Canada. Patterner.co.uk, MKDoc, Ltd., UK. Reflexdata.co.uk, Reflex Data Systems, Ltd., UK. Softbyte.co.uk, Softbyte, Ltd., UK. Softroll.com, Softroll Systems, Inc., USA. Stylecad.com, Soft Fashion, Inc., USA. Techwearinc.com, Techwear, Inc., USA. Texbase.com, Techspace, Inc., USA. Texclub.com, Yunwoo Enterprise Co., Ltd., Korea. Texeng.co.uk, Texeng Software, Ltd., UK. Triadem.com, Triadem OHG, Germany. Vetigraph.com, Vetigraph JPS Informatiques, France. Vivaldi2000.com, Vivaldi Systems, USA. Weavemaker.com, Designer Software LLC, USA. Yieldmax.us, WES Technologies, Inc., USA. Test Facilities Websites. Subcategories: Leather, Textiles and Apparel, Laboratory Equipment. Almitest.com, Almi Test, Ltd., Bulgaria. analytical-s.co.uk, Analytical Services, Ltd., UK. awtia.com.au, Australian Wool Testing Authority Ltd., Government institute involved in the testing of wool fibre prior to sale, textile fabrics, carpets, geotextiles and reflective surfaces, and physical and chemical testing for the grain, food and feed industries. btexlaboratory.com, Btex Laboratory, India. bttg.co.uk, bttg. Codetext.com, co.de.tex. ColorSolutionsInternational.com, Color Solutions International, USA. Controllochualita.it, ITTSAS, Italy. ctcgroup.com, CTC Group, France. DesignDirectory.co.uk/fashion/notcons.htm, Nottingham Consultants, Ltd., UK. Ecotex.com, Ecotex Laboratory, Ltd., Turkey. Faserinstitute.de, Faser Institute Bremen EV, Germany. Filkfreiburg.de, FILK. Fitai.re.kr, FITI, Korea. Govmark.com, the Govmark Organization, Inc., USA. gut-ev.de, GUT, Germany. imo.ch, IMO Group, Switzerland. intertek-labtest.com, Intertek Labtest, International Product Testing, Inspection and Certification Institute for Textiles, Leather and Apparel, Toys, Footwear, Food, Chemicals, Electronics and Electrical Products. Intertek.com, Intertek Group, plc, worldwide group of testing laboratories for the textile, footwear, toys, petroleum and chemicals industries. IPStesting.com, Integrated Paper Services, Inc., USA. itc.ttu.edu, International Textile Center, USA. kken.or.jp, JSTIF. Macaulay.ac.uk, Macaulay Institute, UK. namsa.com, NAMSA. nelsonlabs.com, Nelson Laboratories, USA. nzwta.co.nz, New Zealand Wool Testing Authority, Ltd., independent organisation for sampling, testing and quality certification of New Zealand wool fibres. pfi-pirmasens.de/typo3/index.php, pfi Pirmasens Germany. PrecisionTesting.com, Precision Testing Laboratories, USA. QUALITY-INSPECTION.biz, Detail Inspection Service Co., Ltd., China. SGS.com, SGS Group, Switzerland. TensionTech.com, Tension Technology International, Inc., USA. Testex.com, Testex AG, Switzerland. Textist.com, Textist, USA. TextileLab.nl, Textile Lab, the Netherlands. TextilesCommittee.nic.in, Textiles Committee, India. TextileLab.se, Textile and later Laboratory at Epub, Sweden. TheFiberLab.co.uk, The Fiber Lab, UK. TSIofDalton.com, Testing Services, Inc., USA. TZU.cz, Textile Testing Institute, Czech Republic. VUTCH.sk, Vuchchemitex Spol SRO, Slovakia. WRAindia.com, Wool Research Association, India. WTAEurope.com, Wool Testing Authority Europe, Ltd., UK. YMcCall.com, Joachim McCall, USA. Independent commercial wool laboratory specialized in yield and fiber diameter and textile manufacturing process testing services. Trade show websites. ParaGAExpo.com, Bandung Intertex, Indonesia. KateMe.uz, KetMe, Uzbekistan. CanadianFurnitureShow.com, Canadian Furniture Show, Canada. Cleanshow.com, Clean Show, Trade Show and Seminar for the Laundry, Dry Clean and Textile Care and Services Industry. Comfortex.de, Comfortex, Germany. Philo.it, Philo, Italy. IndexExhibition.com, Index Dubai, Dubai. IDMA.com, ITMA. Texwork.eu, Texwork. VTGVietnam.com, VTG Garment and Textile, Vietnam. Fabric wholesale websites at dmoz-dpd.org/business/textiles_nonwoven/fabrics/wholesale_and_distribution. Subcategories: apparel, denim, interlinings, technical textiles, upholstery and furnishing, converters, marketplaces, Asia, Europe, Middle East, North America, Oceania. AliciaFabrics.ca, Alicia Fabric Imports, Inc., Canada. AntexDesigns.com, Antex Designs, Inc., Canada. BOMTextile.com, BOM Textile Mills, jobber and wholesaler of promotional woven and knit fabrics for domestic and export manufacturers and over-the-counter users. Benartex.com, Benartex, Inc., wholesale distributors of designer cotton prints for quilting, crafts, wearable art, and home decorating items. Beefanddd.com, Budley Fabrics, Inc., USA. Bournmills.ca, Bourne Mills of Canada, Inc., wholesale converters and distributors of fabrics for drapery lining, blackout and garment interlining applications, from cotton, polyester, and blends. ClassicCottons.com, Classic Cottons, USA. Clothworks.com, Clothworks, USA. CRDaniels.com, CR. DancoTextiles.com, Danco Textiles, Inc., USA. DavidTextilesInc.com, David Textiles, Inc., USA. DiversiTexInc.com, Diversitex, Inc., USA. EconomyTextile.com, Economy Textile, Canada. Edley.com, Edley Associates, Inc., USA. EESkenk.com, EESkenk.co, USA. FabricStockExchange.com, Fabric Stock Exchange, USA. FabTexInc.com, Fabtex, Inc., USA. FireweedFabrics.com, Northern Garments, Inc., Canada. FaustTextiles.com, Faust Textiles, Inc., USA. GlazerMills.com, Glazer Mills, Inc., USA. GoldenDoor.com. HainesFabric.com, Haines Fabrics Co., USA. HempTraders.com, Hemp Traders, USA. HenryGlassFabrics.com, Henry Glass & Co., USA. JLEFKovitz.com. CastFabrics.com, Cast Fabrics, Inc., USA. KonaBay.com, Kona Bay Fabrics, USA. LawTextile.com, World Class Textiles, USA. MillDirectTextiles.com, MillDirect Textiles, USA. Needlecrafting.com, Needlecraft, Inc., USA. Northcote.net, Northcote Silk, Inc., USA. O-wool.com, Vermont Organic Fiber Company, USA. Ocoinc.com, OHCO, Inc., USA. PartyDecorationFabric.com, Party Decoration Fabric, USA. PBTex.com, PNB Textiles, USA. PhoenixofAnderson.com, Phoenix of Anderson, USA. QuiltingTreasures.com, Quilting Treasures, USA. RMCoco.com, RM Coco, USA. RobertKaufman.com, Robert Kaufman Co., Inc., USA. SaxonTextile.com, Saxon Textile Corp., USA. Skytexla.com, Skytex Enterprises, Inc., USA. SOURCE4INTERIORS.com, Source for Interiors, USA. TailoredFabrics.com, Tailored Fabrics, Inc., USA. TextileCreations.com, Textile Creations, Inc., USA. TextileTradeUSA.com, Textile Trade USA, Inc., Wholesale of Closeout and Surplus Denim, Twill. TopValueFabrics.com, Top Value Fabrics, USA. WestminsterFibers.com, Westminster Fibers, Inc., USA. WorldLinen.com, World Linen and Textile Co., Inc., USA. WovenFabrics.com, MJ Kinco, Inc., USA.